Hi, this is Jennifer from Read It Again. Join me while I read the first part of The Turtle from the Lighthouse Family series by Cynthia Rylant, illustrated by Preston McDaniels. Please consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed this book, hit the like button and share this video with all your friends. Chapter 1, Fog. At the edge of a rocky cliff high above the beautiful waves of a blue-green sea, there stood a proud lighthouse, and in this lighthouse there lived a family. This was an unusual family, but a very happy one. At one time they had all been scattered about the world, living very different lives, never knowing that the future would one day bring them together. There was Pandora, the cat, who had lived all alone at the lighthouse. Bravely, she tended the great lamp year after year to help those who sailed the seas in fog and darkness, and who might be in danger of shipwrecks. Seeing the bright beacon across the water, sailors carefully turned their ships away from the deadly rocks of the shore. Seabold, the dog, was for many years a sailor himself, and a very fine one. He was quite proud of the boat he called Adventure. But one dark night, Seabold was tossed into the ocean in a storm, and though this night might have been an unlucky turn in the dog's life, it was in fact good fortune, for Seabold washed up alive on Pandora's shore. Pandora found him, sheltered him, and they found in each other a true friend. The dog, however, knew that he must return to the sea, to a sailor's life, once he and his boat were mended. Pandora knew this too, for the sea was the very heart of Seabold's life, and she understood. But then one day they found the children, and everything changed. Pandora spotted 3 orphan mice, Whistler, Lila, and their baby sister Tiny, adrift in a crate in the vast blue waters. The children who had fled an uncertain fate in an orphanage were carried into the lighthouse, warmed, fed, and ultimately loved. Seabold did not leave. The children did not leave. Having found one another, everyone wanted to stay. So in the sanctuary that was Pandora's lonely lighthouse, they all became a family. And the lighthouse was lonely no more. Now winter was nearing, the days were shorter and colder, and a thick, damp fog rolled into shore nearly every morning. From their cottage window high on the cliff, Whistler and Lila could see the clear blue sky above them, but only a gray cotton blanket of fog below. Sometimes they saw the masts of small boats poking up through the fog like twigs in a snowdrift. Lighthouse keeping became very important work during these times. Seabold often stood at the edge of the cliff for hours, sounding a foghorn in his hands, guiding small boats to the shore and warning the large schooners away. Lila and Whistler loved to be near Seabold as he worked, but on the windiest days, Pandora also worried they might be blown off the cliff that she insisted the children tie themselves to the porch post. This, of course, required the children to be very creative in their play. They also had to be patient, for they could hear each other's voices only between the blasts of Seabold's horn. "Let's pretend we've been captured by pirates," suggested Whistler. "They've tied us to the masts until we tell them where the treasure is." "Let's be kites," said Lila, spreading her arms wide and spinning in circles. Seabold sounded the horn. The children waited. When all was quiet again, Whistler said, "Brr, it's so cold today. Maybe we should just pretend we're on our way home for tea." "Yes," said Lila, shivering and tucking in her scarf. "Let's pretend we live right here and can run inside and get warm." "And that someone nice will bake us something toasty," said Whistler. "And sweet," added Lila. She looked at her brother. "Isn't it nice we don't have to pretend that story?" Lila asked with a smile. But just as Whistler was about to answer, they suddenly heard a voice from the thick fog below. "Hello? Hello up there?" Lila looked at Whistler. goodness, she said. Who is it? Seabold, called Whistler. Did you hear? Called Lila. She wished she could untie herself and run to Seabold's side. But she knew she must mind Pandora. Who goes there? Seabold shouted down into the fog bank. He waited for an answer. The children waited for an answer. None came. Seabold returned to the children and gathered up the ropes which had kept them safe. I am going down to the shore, children, Seabold said. You must go inside and wait with Pandora, and have her set hot tea brewing, for that was a very mysterious call. Who knows what I might bring back? May I come with you, Seabold? Asked Whistler. And I? Asked Lila. Seabold carefully studied them. Please? Asked Whistler. We like to help. Seabold smiled and patted the boy's shoulder. Indeed you do, he said. Run then, tell Pandora. The children hurried to the kitchen to tell Pandora the news. Pandora was mixing up something in a bowl while Tiny slept tucked in a candle snuffer on the windowsill. Oh yes, said Pandora, do go. Seabold may need your help. She lifted up the ends of the ropes still attached to the children. But see to it that you are safely tied to Seabold, she said. A strong gust, and I dread to think what might happen. The children ran back outside. Then, with the ends of their safety ropes looped to the buttons of Seabold's coat, they started carefully down the cliff to see who might be helped. Chapter 2. The Turtle. The steep sides of the cliff were very slippery. As the children made their way down to the shore, they were very glad indeed that they were anchored to Seabold, for they could barely hold their footing. As they descended the fog became thicker and thicker. When they reached the bottom, Lila took Seabold's paw. Where are we, Seabold? Asked Lila, reaching out into the eerie whiteness. Why, we are just below the lighthouse, child, said Seabold. How will we find our way back? Asked Lila. I can't even see my feet. Seabold chuckled. You forget what a fine nose I have, said the dog. Don't worry, I can smell the crackling wood of our kitchen stove from here. Now, children, said Seabold, let's be quiet and listen. The three stood silently, straining to hear anyone who might be lost in the dense mist. Hello? Called a voice. Hello? Hello, boomed Seabold. We are here. Seabold guided the children carefully to the east. We are coming, shouted Seabold. I'm here, answered the voice. I'm here. With the help of Seabold's strong voice and fine nose, he and the children made their slow way to the lost voice in the fog. As they came nearer to the hellos and right heres being called, Whistler spotted a smooth, large rock up ahead. I think whoever it is behind that rock, he said. They all stepped carefully toward it. Suddenly the rock lifted its head. Whistler, Lila, even Seabold jumped in surprise. The rock said, I am so happy to see you. Heavens, said Whistler, it's a sea turtle. Seabold crouched down. The children stepped in closer, and everyone looked into a gentle green face and round eyes flowing with tears. My name is Aurora, said the turtle. Oh dear, said Lila, reaching into her pocket. You need a hanky. The turtle smiled. No, it's all right, said Aurora. Sea turtles often cry, but we aren't sad. Seabold tipped his hat. I am Seabold, he said, and this is Whistler and his sister Lila. We keep the lighthouse on the hill, and we've come to help you. Oh, thank you, said Aurora. I heard your horn. I was hurrying south when a gale caught me and blew me into this fog, and now I'm so very cold. I shouldn't be here at all, really. Sea turtles are not made for these northern waters. Why did you swim north? Asked Whistler. That story can wait, I think, said Siebold. First, we must find a way to help Aurora keep warm. We have a nice stove in the lighthouse, said Lila. Siebold looked above him and sighed. Yes, but that cliff is much too difficult to climb for Aurora, he said. More tears fell from Aurora's eyes. Are those sad tears now? Asked Lila. Aurora nodded her head. Oh, dear, said Lila. Pandora is our problem solver, said Siebold. She will know what to do. But we can't leave Aurora here alone, said Whistler. Exactly, said Siebold, and that is why you and Lila will be staying here with her until I return with Pandora. Yes, Lila said. Good idea. Siebold pulled off his coat and draped it across Aurora's back. This will help keep you warm, he said, and the children are nicely attached to it so no one will stray in the fog. I'll be back quickly and everything will be just fine. Whistler looked at Aurora. It always is, he said, with Siebold and Pandora. Would you like a hanky now? Asked Lila. Aurora smiled.